I watched Space Jam, and this is one of my favorite movies growing up. I watched this movie a lot of times. I know the plot. Like, it's a fantastic movie. And I haven't reviewed it yet, but I watched it on Tubi because, I was like, man, I really want to watch Space Jam again. It's brought back great memories as a kid watching this movie. Yeah, Space Jam was a really good movie. I've not seen the second one with LeBron, but yeah, so it's very exciting movie that I was able to watch again. It's like I haven't reviewed it yet, and this is my favorite movie growing up. So yeah, I'm definitely going to review it because it has basketball in it. I love sports. I used to play upward basketball through second to sixth grade. So I played basketball for 4 years and loved playing basketball. So I used to have a hoop outside my house, and I would just shoot and play basketball all the time. It was so much fun. I got a lot of joy playing basketball. So yeah, so yeah, my name's Ben Alexander. I have autism, and yeah, I do these movie reviews through the eyes of an autistic person. That's the whole point of these movie reviews. I also try to do autism education videos. I do a bunch of cool stuff, motivational messages, whatever hits your boat. There's a lot of stuff that I do in this channel. So if you're interested in this, please subscribe, share this with your friends, and turn on your YouTube notifications. Anybody's welcome here. I'm not picky. I welcome everybody and everybody's viewpoints, even if they're different from mine. So just want to let you know about that real quick. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Or the review. So before, actually, I just want to make sure that I'm not spoiling the movie. So if you've never seen Space Jam before, please watch it and come back to my review, because the last thing I want to do is spoil the movie for you. That would suck. So just please be in mind of that. So, yeah, so, alrighty. So, the beginning of the movie is kind of like MJ's childhood, going all the way to the NBA and all that stuff with the Bulls, going through college at North Carolina. So it basically took, the beginning of the movie was basically Michael Jordan's earlier days, and then the movie pans to him retiring from basketball to focus on baseball. And then after that, they have the thing in Moron Mountain and all that stuff. So, it was kind of an interesting transition from Earth to Looney Land in Moron Mountain. So there's a whole different dimension. I'll kind of explain that a little bit later. So they were up in Moron Mountain. So Moron Mountain is basically an amusement park ran by a let's just say a little fat guy that's very mean to his employees. And he was making the employees kidnap the Looney Tunes up to Moron Mountain so they could be their slaves, basically. And yeah, so they were trying to come up and force them, and the Looney Tunes were like, Bugs Bunny was writing in a rule book saying that you have to give them Looney Tunes have to have a chance to defend themselves, and they picked basketball because they were short and all that stuff. So they thought basketball would be so easy. But then the aliens, are known as the Monstars, ended up going to NBA arenas and stealing the talent of the NBA players. There's 5 of them. I could only recognize 2 of them because it was before my era of NBA watching. Like, I grew up watching Chris Paul, Kobe, Kevin Love for Minnesota. Like, some of those guys, obviously LeBron, that goes out speaking. Yeah, so I grew up with a lot of those guys, and that was before the time. Everybody knows MJ, and all I knew was Charles Barkley because he's on TNT. He does the analyst, and Patrick Ewing. I believe he was a Georgetown head coach. So yeah, they're pretty famous, good basketball players. Those are the only 2 I knew that they stole the talent from. So it was absolutely crazy. They stole the talent, and they couldn't even play basketball. Like, Charles Barkley couldn't even beat women. You know, they had these group of girls that actually kicked him out, thinking that Charles Barkley was a Charles Barkley imitator. So it was kind of an interesting part of the movie. But yeah, they lost their talent, and the Monstars had the talent of those NBA players by simply doing something weird to the basketball. So it was a very interesting movie. And the next step is MJ playing golf with Larry Bird, Bill Murray, and a guy named Stan that's there to protect him and be his assistant to make sure MJ's transition's easy. And he was actually hired by the baseball team. So the funny thing is MJ got kidnapped by the Looney Tunes, because the Looney Tunes were looking, because they realized that the Monstars had all the talent, or they grew big. Like, they weren't quite sure what was going on. But I'll explain more of that later. So they went through a golf hole because MJ was golfing, and MJ went through the golf hole because they were doing like Bugs Bunny was having a magnet, and MJ had a hole-in-one with the magnet and the ball. It was like really crazy. So, and then MJ was taking a picture because he got a hole-in-one, and then zoom, he gone into the Looney Tunes world. So they took him down the golf hole into the Looney Tunes world, and Stan's like trying to get him out. He was fixing a he was saying he was fixing a dig. He was trying to dig a hole so he could get MJ out. So he ripped up their golf course because he was trying to get MJ out. It was kind of crazy, because his job's obviously dependent on keeping Michael Jordan safe. So he's obviously very motivated. And then the Looney Tunes actually have to go up to Earth to grab MJ's basketball shorts and his basketball shoes. So they ended up going up to Earth to grab that. And then Stan looked at the Looney Tunes and what they did, and it was like, oh. And so Stan comes down into the Looney Tunes world, and yeah, let's just say MJ actually picked a mouse over him at one point, but there was nobody in the game. So MJ finally, because Stan was that type of person that kind of annoyed MJ, but MJ knew that he was sent by the baseball team, that he just had to deal with it. So yeah, so once that happened, he ended up going into the game and scoring a basket. But before he scored a basket, he was a spy in the Monstars locker room, and then reporting and telling them after the Monstars destroyed him, he came back limping to the locker room saying that the Monstars stole the talent from the NBA, because they really did say that in the locker room. So he was a locker room spy. And then MJ raised the stakes and say, you know what, you get me and more on Mountain if you win the game. But if we win, you have to return the talent of the NBA players. So yeah, it was just so crazy how that happened. Yeah, it was actually funny. One of the scenes where they had like a fortune teller, and the fortune teller predicted it exactly, and literally the players walked out on her, even though she told the truth, because they thought it was so ridiculous. Obviously, I'm not 100% sure if they truly understood what happened necessarily, if it ever got to them what happened, but of course it's a movie, so, and these are real people, and actual real people, so it's like, I don't know. But yeah, it was a fun movie. I love Space Jam. It is the funnest movie out there. And like I said, I gave you a very long analysis of this movie because I kind of knew what was happening. And yeah, basically the Looney Tunes won on a last second dunk by MJ, and that was it. and the NBA players did get their talents back. So yeah, overall it's such a great movie with MJ. I mean, MJ's acting was pretty good in this movie. I liked, for a basketball player who's focused on basketball, I thought he did a great job acting. Yeah, I really did. So, but yeah, let me know if you've ever seen Space Jam. I'm sure a lot of you have, and you probably have nostalgic memories of Space Jam like I have. So yeah, let me know in the comments. Yeah, I've never seen Space Jam 2 yet. I don't know. I could buy it, maybe. I don't know. Watch it, but yeah, I really haven't watched the new Space Jam yet. So I'm kind of interested to see what it is, to see if it's better than the first one, though. Most of the time, sequels don't do as well as the first one. That's kind of the thing with movies, where it's like the sequels always get worse than the first movies. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I think that's it for this video. That's all I got to say. And thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.